Welcome everyone to our training session on developing and submitting new MCP applications for the 2024 open application period, also known as Cycle 5. This session will last approximately 1 hour, and in that time, we will demonstrate how to manage your applications within the portal and several new features our team has implemented to streamline the application process and make it easier for you to monitor and report progress. At this time, I'd like to introduce Todd Brower, our new MCP's team leader. He will provide an overview of some important information before we begin our live demonstration.
Thank you, Brian, and welcome everybody. Very excited to be here. I do have a couple housekeeping issues that I'd like to address. So this is a Zoom webinar that only allows you to post questions using the chat function. So you will be muted throughout the presentation and the demonstration. However, I'm going to continue to monitor questions throughout the session and will respond to those questions in the order that they're posted. So please feel free throughout this session to post questions at any time. There will also be another period at the end of the demonstration in which you'll have an opportunity to ask additional questions and discussion with the panel. All right, during registration, you had an opportunity to share your expectations for the session with our team, and probably more importantly, identify the areas of interest you'd like us to focus on. So we took that information and we tailored this session to meet your needs. To ensure that you had the information you needed about the application process, from the very beginning of this presentation, we're going to include a list of resources that are available to you, as well as, excuse me, some important dates to remember. Any questions about the process or the available MAG will be addressed in the next training session, which is scheduled at 1:30 p.m. next Wednesday, January 24th. If you cannot make that session, a recording will be available on our YouTube channel, and that can be accessed through our new MCP website. So as a reminder, the MPO's role in the surtax program is limited to the ranking and recommendation of municipal capital projects only. The MPO is not involved in the other municipal programs funded by the MAG, including Community Shuttle and the rehab and maintenance programs. We also are not involved in the eligibility reviews or have a role in executing the funding agreements. Our job is to rank and recommend MCPs, that's it. However, that being said, we do our best to forward your questions in which we do not have a role to the MAP administrator, and we do that as soon as we have a meeting with you all. The new MCP website is your one-stop shop to help you through the process. The site includes the new MPO evaluation and ranking process that we publish each year to help you understand the requirements to submit an application and the process that we use to rank and recommend new MCPs to the MAP administrator. It also includes all the events and news items posted during each open application period to keep you up to date and to notify you of the support and training that we offer. I encourage all of you to visit this site regularly, subscribe to it, get the latest news and events to really stay on top of what's happening with each cycle. You may also use the site to schedule a meeting with our team to help you through the process and answer any questions directly. So we're available to you. The most important date that you need to remember is March 8th. That's where you're going to need to have your applications developed. You're going to see in the demonstration a three-part process that needs to occur before you can submit, and you will submit your applications via the new MCP application portal. That you have to do before March 8th. You cannot submit your applications after that deadline, and any attempt to will essentially not work within the system. The submit button goes away, and you'd have to wait till the next year for another opportunity. Now you can start submitting applications as of February 9th. But you can develop your applications at any time. So the portal is available to you at any time to start the process and start developing your applications. Before we go into the demonstration, as a reminder, there's a brief questionnaire that you must complete to request your password. The link to the questionnaire is located on the portal's homepage. It will likely not take you longer than, I'd say, 5 minutes to complete it. Once the confirmation email is received by the MPO point of contact, that's Brian Kaleka, the password will be provided to you via email, and usually the turnaround is anywhere between 12 and 24 hours. And something that is also important to to note is that we're not requiring the one-on-one meetings. So just taking the questionnaire is enough for you to be able to get your password. So if you feel confident that you understand the process, that this demonstration gives you everything that you need, there's no need for the one-on-one. It's not required to get your password. So at this time, I want to introduce Rodney Bunner. He's the manager of the new MCP application portal, and he's going to lead us through the demonstration.
Thank you, Todd, and welcome to the new MCP's Data Portal live demonstration. Our goal is to familiarize municipalities participating in the program with the steps to create and manage project applications within the new MCP's Data Portal. We are excited to share with you the capabilities within the portal for municipalities to create, manage, submit project applications within the framework of the new MCP's program. So a few new features in our 2024 portal. One of them is our project filters. And so this tool will assist municipalities in viewing projects in various stages of development, including displaying of fully funded projects, projects that have the design phase funding complete, projects where municipal input is required, and a tracker for submitted projects. And we will go through all of these during the live demonstration. Also included in the 2024 MCP's portal are the one-click submittals, which greatly reduces time spent in the review process and enables municipalities to quickly move forward to the submittal with projects already in the portal from the 2023 cycle. Another new feature in 2024 are report and downloads, which allows the municipalities to generate PDF reports for completed projects and also create a report package, which includes an organized download of all project documentation provided within the portal. So we're excited to share all of this with you and walk you through a live demonstration. So let's move over to the portal. All right, so we're at the main page of the portal. And as Todd mentioned, to begin the 2024 cycle, you have to request your municipality specific password to access the portal. So, once you have received the password, you can begin the process. And so you should receive that via email, and it should go to the single surtax point of contact or the SSPOC, where they can log in. So you can access the municipal sign-in page via the button, this green button on the main page. You can also access it on the header at any time to get to the municipal sign-in. Also note that we have a second sign-in option for the MCP's team. So this is exclusively for the use of the management team and the MCP liaison team to access an admin side of the portal. So let's click the municipal sign-on button and notice that we have a municipality dropdown. So in this case, we're going to select our training login and we will enter the password. You will also notice that if you haven't already requested the access to the 2024 login, the questionnaire can be launched from this location. Let's click the sign in button. Okay, great. All right, so once we've logged into the system, the default portal page will display two primary sections. The first is the municipal dashboard, and the second is the 2024 new MCP applications project list. So our dashboard is at the top and our application list is down below. By default, the municipal dashboard displays the basic instructions for using the data portal and provides a reference for the open and close dates for the 2024 open period. The dashboard also includes tabs for the review step color key, which is here, the land use policy adoption option, and the priority project. Each one of these we will cover in detail as we proceed through the training. The second section is the listing of 2024 new MCP applications. Within this section, municipalities can develop, track, manage, and submit projects to be included in the new MCP's program. If projects have been developed in previous year cycles, those projects will automatically be rolled over into the 2024 list. So you can see that our list of 2024 new MCP applications does include projects that were rolled over from 2023. To construct a new MCP's project application, the new MCP program requires 3 primary review steps are completed and that the project is formally submitted for evaluation and ranking. The review steps within the portal are step 1, which is general information, step 2, which is commitment and support, and step 3, which is funding and implementation. The step 3 data entry will be relative to the project phase selected in step 1. The MCP portal allows funding for design and construction phases only. Each data review step is completed with the municipality providing input in the form of both answering project-specific questions and uploading any requested documentation. At the end of each review step, the user will request a review from the MCP liaison team to confirm that the information provided is complete and it complies with the Second Amendment guidelines. After approval of the information, the municipality will resume the application on the subsequent step. It is a progressive process which culminates in project submission by the designated municipality SSPOC. During the municipal project application building process, the new MCP's data portal monitors user action and interactively provides feedback on the status of MCP liaison team reviews and review steps available for data entry or project submission. The Review Key tab on the municipal dashboard contains a review step button color key, which identifies by color where project actions are available and the overall status of the application. For each project application, the button for review steps 1, 2, and 3, and the submit button will be displayed in blue when the step is available for editing by the municipality. So this corresponds to our municipal input required blue color in the review step color key. In addition, hovering over buttons within the portal will provide specific information on the application status. So let's review the status of an existing project relative to the color key and hover over notifications. You will see that the green color is for review completed, go to the next step. So if we hover over a green button, it will tell us that these steps have been confirmed and are complete. Any blue button will also indicate that information can be collected, and this step is available for input for the municipality. This includes step 1, 2, 3, and the submit button. Notice that the submit button states the MCP application is ready to be submitted. Click the submit button to notify Broward County that the project is ready for evaluation and ranking. So this is kind of the final step in the process when you've already completed all 3 steps, 3 of the review steps. Also notice that there is a yellow button status as well, where the step is not available, and it's inactive until prior step review is completed. So this makes sense in our kind of progression and stepwise procedure through the review steps, where if you haven't completed step 2, then step 3 will not be available to you for editing, as well as the submit button is included in that process. In addition to the interactive notification, as review steps are completed within the portal, the municipality SSPOC and the MCP liaison team will be notified via system-generated emails. So anytime you complete a step, request a review, or a review step, a review is completed by the MCP liaison team, an email will come to the SSPOC or to the MCP team notifying them that an action is required on their part. As Todd mentioned, note that new projects can be developed at any time throughout the year. However, it's only during the submission period when the submit button will be enabled. So if you're in the portal outside of the open period, the submit button will not be enabled for you. Okay, the new MCP portal manages the year-over-year status of project applications, including preparing projects for the next cycle based on approved project phase funding in prior years. The training projects we have listed within this demonstration include 4 existing projects at different stages of development. As we mentioned in the opening, new to this year's portal is the one-click submittal. This action is enabled when a project has been through the entire review and submittal process in a previous year, but did not receive funding. With this feature, the project can be resubmitted without additional content review. For our training projects, this applies to Northwest 12th Street and the Northwest 8th Street projects within the list. So here's our Northwest 12th Street and 8th Street. So essentially, these projects have been rolled over from 2023, where they were submitted for evaluation and ranking, but were not funded in the 2023 cycle. So all of those reviews and data entry still carry over, and we want to be able to save you time in this process. So essentially, these projects are ready to submit. But we'll also go through a use case where they may need to be edited. So even though are ready to submit, you still need to make sure that they are complete and up to date. And if they need to, if you need to make changes to them, then be certain to do that. All right. Also, for projects where the design phase was funded in a previous year cycle, the system will designate the design phase as funded and disable any further edits for that phase. However, the construction phase is still available to you to request funding. So the system will automatically enable step 3 for the user to input construction phase information. After entering construction phase information, the user can resubmit the project for construction phase funding. We will demonstrate this process later in the training. Also new to the 2024 MCP portal are fully funded projects. And the portal considers projects to be fully funded when the construction phase or both design and construction have been funded within the new MCP program, and no additional funds can be applied for. However, what we want to do is retain those projects in the system for future reference and reporting. So you'll be able to see those projects specifically through our filters, which we'll touch on next. Okay, as your municipality builds new MCP portal applications, the 2024 new MCP applications list will grow. And then the status of each application can vary through different phases of the review steps and submission process. To assist in evaluating which projects are at specific stages of the application process, the MCP data portal provides a project filter tool, which can easily filter project applications, the project applications list to match designated criteria. By default, the project filter is set to all projects. So you'll notice this is the project filter automatically set to all projects. Note that each filter option provides a count of the project applications that currently match the filter option. So our all projects has denoted by this count of 4. There are 4 total projects for our training municipality, and so it lists out 4. All right, so let's drop this down, and we'll note the project filters that are available. The first one is fully funded projects. And this is, we just mentioned, either both design and construction are funded or just construction is funded. Then those are considered to be fully funded, and we have 0 of those in our training municipality. The second is design phase funded. And this is where, construction is still available within the system to be funded, but the design phase for that project has been funded. So we can filter we have 1 count of these, and we can filter our list to just show that specific project that meets that criteria. So let's switch back to all projects, and we'll drop this down again. The next option is action required. And this is where project applications where municipal actions are available. And essentially, this is where you have a blue button on your project line. right? So for our, if we filter to this, we'll see all projects still. We have a blue button, blue button, blue button, blue button, meaning that there is an action that is required in order for that particular application to proceed. Okay, so the next option is review and process. And these are applications where the MCP team is currently reviewing municipal data inputs. So we don't have any of these right now, but we will show you this later on in the training where we do have some that are in process. The next option is ready to submit. So this is applications where all 3 data input steps are completed and it has been successfully reviewed, but the project application has yet to be submitted for evaluation and ranking. So we have 2 of those currently, and those are a couple of our rollovers from last year where we had completed these and they are now ready to submit. And finally, we have submitted, which displays only those project applications which have been submitted within the current cycle. Notice that for the submitted filter, the count notes that 0 of 3 projects have been submitted. This notifies the user that only 3 projects can be submitted in total for the 2024 cycle for their municipality. Note that once all 3 projects have been submitted, the submit button will then be disabled for any other project that is ready to submit. Also note that as actions are performed within the system, the counts for each filter are automatically updated. During the open period, the municipality can utilize these filters to easily identify projects where an action is available and set up a to-do list to address data input needs on specific projects on specific review steps. So it's a great way to filter down to a list of projects where you have an action that's required, see those that are fully funded and those that have been submitted so that you can quickly gain access to these kind of key criteria for managing your projects and reviewing your projects. Okay. So our next topic is the Manage Project button. So this is also new to the 2024 new MCP data portal and includes 4 capabilities. Number 1 is to delete a project. Now, last year and previous years, we had the ability to delete a project, but it's now just located on the Manage dropdown. The second is Action History, and I'll drop one of these tools down to show you what it looks like. We had delete project at the top. We have action history, and action history is just what has happened during the development of this project, so that we see when the project was approved, created. Step 1 was submitted and approved. Step 2, step 3, if it's been submitted, etc. So we have an action history on the dates and any kind of comments that might come from the liaison team, all listed in one page. So that looks something like this. So this is our demo of Northwest 12th Street that if we scroll down the list, we can see all of the actions that happened. So at the very beginning, project created, general information review requested. We have comments by the review team. The review for general information was approved, and so forth. So if we need to go back and backtrack and see what happened on a project, and you want to see as a municipality what happened on a project, it's a great kind of review to see all of your reviews in one place and all of your submissions and review statuses in one place. Of course, this is not editable to the user. It's just a read-only tool. Okay, so our next item is a summary report. And the summary report is you can generate a PDF report that summarizes all of your data entries for a specific project. And we've clicked on our Northwest 12th Street, and we can generate this summary report, which will just be downloaded to you as a PDF. And then if you just click on it from your browser, it will say, give you additional information on general information, all of your inputs in terms of the questions that were put to you as for each review step and the information. So basically, it's giving you some details about what you put in on this particular project that comes outside of the system and directly into a PDF. Okay, so our fourth option on our Manage tool is a sorted file collection. So I mentioned in our new features that we have kind of a data package that can be downloaded and put not only the report that we just generated, but it also brings back to you all of the data uploads that you would put in terms of the documentation that was requested for that particular project into a single zip file. So let's go ahead and click this sorted file collection option, and you will see that it will download a zip file directly to you. And if I open this up in my Windows Explorer, you can see that in this zip file, I have a report file as a PDF, which is the same report that we just looked at. But in addition to that, we have all of the documentation that we uploaded for general information. So here is the project area map that we uploaded. Here's the commitment of support for step 2. And in the project phase was the design phase for this project. And all of the PDF documents we uploaded for the scope of work and cost estimate, et cetera, are all contained kind of an organized package of all of our data that we put into the system. So you can easily get all of that back out, and then it's a nice kind of reference for you, an offline reference to show this is what we had put into the system. Okay, great. One note about the report and the sorted files is that they're not available for projects that are incomplete. So if you haven't completed all 3 review steps and them be successfully reviewed, the report is not available yet until everything is completed. Okay, great. So let's dive in and start to evaluate our projects for the 2024 new MCP cycle. So in this demo, we'll walk you through 5 common project development workflows. The first workflow is to delete a project. So we want to delete a project from our project listings, and there may be various reasons to remove a project due to local circumstances. So prior to deleting the project, please verify that it will not be considered for any future funding within the program. So in this step, we will use the Manage button and select the Delete Project button to initiate the project removal on the Dover Road project. So this is our first project in our list. And so we can use our Manage dropdown to delete this project. Before we do that, the Withdraw project page is displayed where we can click a Agree and Remove confirmation that says we are authorized to remove the project by the municipality's governing body. And once we do that, we can click Agree and Remove. And the system will notify you that the MCP has been successfully withdrawn. And you'll also see that it's no longer in our listing of MCP projects for 2024. Also note that an email will be sent to the county and Broward MPO informing them of the project removal. So the system will tell the management team that this particular project is no longer in the system. Okay, all right, great. So that's an easy one. So we removed our initial project that we wanted to remove from the consideration. So our second step, our second workflow is to complete a construction phase for a previously funded project. So we have a project where the design phase was funded in the 2023 cycle, and we want to submit an application for funding for the construction phase through the new MCP's program. To perform this task in the new MCP's project list, we will update the North Nob Hill Road project by completing the requested information for the construction phase. Note that after the design phase was approved for funding in 2023, the system automatically reset the review step approvals back to step 3 so that the construction phase can be completed. So a little bit of what that looks like is if I just go into step 1 and review down to where we would select a phase, right? Pardon me, the phase that would be part of our application. Notice that the design phase is checked, but it says it was funded in 2023. So that, this is no longer in consideration. It's already been funded. So our only option was to select the construction phase when we rolled over the projects and automatically forward you to step 3 so you can enter that information. All right, so let's return to our home. All right, so to enter the construction phase information, we're going to go to our step 3. When you're here, notice that we have our project name listed and our project ID. We also have both the design and construction phase listed here, and that it notes the design phase as funded. So this is included for you as a reference. You cannot edit the design phase at this point, but you can investigate it and see what was included in the application when it was submitted and approved and funded in 2023. For now, we want to build our construction application. So we'll go into the edit mode. So now this is editable to us, and we can begin filling out the information for the construction phase on our Nob Hill Road project. Okay, so bear with me as I fill in some of this information. So our project cost for the phase is about $5 million. We're going to request that same amount from the surtax funding. And we want to make sure we have an independent cost estimate that is required as part of the submission. So what we can do is click this browse button to upload a document, and it could be any document type to upload into the system. Okay, little navigating here. And okay. So we have our cost estimate that we can select. And so our independent cost estimate. Okay, great. So we have that. So as we proceed forward, will non-surtax funds be used to complete the project? And in this case, the answer is no. We're asking for the full amount through the surtax program. Okay, so we need to upload our scope of work. So again, we'll go to our browse and find the scope of work document and click open, and note references it here. Proceeding forward, provide the number of months needed to complete this phase of the project. In this case, it's 18 months. And when is the expected start date for this phase is 2029. Will a consultant be used to complete the project phase? In this case, the answer is no. So if we select no, then we're asked to upload an in-house staff allocation plan. So again, we can browse for a document here and our staff allocation plan PDF. And we also want to provide our in-house staff qualifications to perform the work. So our staff qualifications document is here. Great, so we've come forward, we've done pretty well. And notice that the construction eligibility uploads are relative to the improvement types selected in step 1 and require additional documentation to fill the requirements in section 3 of the Second Amendment. In this case, the project includes improvements for lighting and signage, and thus the additional uploads are required. So we'll select those uploads. But before we do that, let's just save a draft so that we make sure that everything that we've done thus far is saved and we're able to continue with the process. So let's browse for a statement that signage is non-decorative. So we have a non-decor lighting. Oops, sorry, that was, this is signage statement. And now we need to upload lighting justification report. So our lighting justification document is here. And upload statement that lighting is non-decorative. You can do that. So here's our non-decorative lighting statement. Great. So so we have here our fully completed step 3. And at this point, we want to request a review. And so this will notify the MCP team that we have completed data entry on the construction phase and that it's available for review. All right, so let's click the request review. Sorry about that. So number of months needed to complete the project is 18. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 2 keyboards and I was hitting the wrong keyboard. My fault. So 2024, wondering why that wasn't going in. So yeah, so now we have our number of months needed to complete this phase of the project, and it's expected to start in 2024. So let's request that. And again, we need to kind of confirm that we want to request this review. So we'll click this checkbox saying we agree that the project construction phasing information provided is complete and correct to the best of your knowledge. So we'll click the agree and submit button. Great. So our notification is the MCP application construction phase has been successfully submitted for funding and implementation review. An email notification will be sent when the review is complete. Fantastic. All right, so notice that now the status for our construction phase is set to pending. So that means that the Broward MPO phase data review is in process. And so at this point, it's not editable. You can still kind of access it, but it's not editable to you. All right. All right, so let's return to the project list and notice that step 3 is now grayed out for our North Nob Hill. The funding and implementation review is in process. So again, that's something when now it's in the ballpark for the MCP liaison team to perform the review and then get back to you. So I'm going to put on that hat, go and perform the review, and then get back to here. 1 second. Okay, so the review has been completed and we can then update our page, and we see that our step 3 for North Nob Hill is now green. So that's great. So it's been successfully reviewed. And one of the items that you can do is you can go and review. You can see that it's been approved. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that you can view that, yes, it was approved. And here are any funding and implementation reviewer comments. So if there were any comments that the reviewer wanted to relay to you, it would be at the bottom of this page where you can get to it. It would also be in the action history for the project. So let's return to the phases and come back to the home screen. Okay, so now the project is ready to submit. So for evaluation and ranking. So we can click the submit button, and our notification is available to us. We click submit. And in our submitting our project phase confirmation, we will select construction as the phase we want to submit on. And again, we confirm our agree and submit, stating that we are authorized to make this submission into the program. And again, we click the agree and submit. And great. So now the system notifies us that it's been successfully submitted and that it is now turned green. So it says that the new MCP application submitted for evaluation and ranking. So great. So now we have one project that has been submitted, and we're able then to even check out our filter and see what it says. It now says that 1 of 3 projects that are available for submitted in this submission in this cycle has been submitted. We still have 2 projects that are ready to submit, and that have 2 projects that have actions required. So where our listing and our counts did update when actions are completed within the portal. Okay, so our next workflow is to update the design phase of a unfunded project. So in this, we'll update the cost estimate on a project that was completed and submitted in the previous year cycle. To perform this update, we navigate to our Northwest 12th Street project design phase. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's our Northwest 12th Street project. And in order to get to that phase, we go to step 3, which contains our phase information. And we see that the design phase has been approved. This is one of the ones that rolled over from the previous year. It was approved for design, but it was not funded, right? So we want to resubmit this project in 2024, but we have a change in the cost of the project. So no longer is it at $228,000, but the new cost for the project will be $250,000. All right, so we need to make that change. So let's go into the phase. And if we scroll down this list, first of all, we'll note that our costs are listed here. And so what we want to do is update these costs. And we also want to update the cost estimate, so that is documented as well. So in order to edit this phase, you can see that it's read-only at the moment. At the very bottom, you have a button for edit phase. So if we click this button, we can then kind of reinitiate the review process so that we can edit this and then resubmit it for review. So we're saying we want to edit the design phase, and we want to confirm that we want to do that by clicking this and clicking the agree and edit button. Great. So now everything is editable to us again, right? So let's go ahead and update this. I'll use the correct keyboard this time. So we're going to go from 228,000 to 250,000, both from the overall cost of the project and what we're requesting in surtax funding. And we also want to update the cost estimate. So we're going to browse for another cost estimate. And that is in our workflow 3. So we have a new cost estimate here that we want to upload. Great. So at this point, we have our updated design phase data that we want to submit for review by the MCP team. So again, our request review button is now enabled at the bottom, and we can click that. So again, we're going to confirm that we want to request this completeness review for the design phase. And we'll click the acknowledgement and agree and submit. All right, great. So again, we're back at pending for this particular project or step, review step, so that it's in the MCP liaison team's hands to complete the review. Let's go to return to projects. And again, we have this step that needs to be reviewed by the team. So I will do that on my side over here. And the review is complete, and we'll refresh the page. And great, so we have another submit button that's enabled. We've updated our project so that it's reflective of new information that we have in this cycle, so that it's now updated and ready to be submitted. Okay, so one kind of caveat here that we're going through is that we only have 3 projects that can be submitted in the cycle, the 2024 cycle. So in our workflow, we have to kind of decide which of 3 we want to submit. So we're going to skip the submitting the Northwest 12th Street for now, because we have to consider not only our Northwest 8th Street project, but we're also going to create a brand new application as well. Okay, so our workflow 4 is our one-click submit. So we've been talking about this a couple of times, and it's already kind of displayed to you where, you know, when you roll your projects over, the submit button will be available to you after you've completed all of the review steps and the submission in the previous year. All right, so for our Northwest 8th Street, it's ready to submit. And we can now submit that. And when it asks for the submit, we're going to say it's for construction. We will agree and submit. And of course, the SSPOC is the person who should be submitting any projects. And again, we'll click the agree and submit. Okay, fantastic. So we have another project that's been submitted, and it's now grayed out, as well as this one is grayed out. Our submitted list is now down to 2 of 3. So we've submitted 2, and we're ready now to go into our final workflow, which is to create a brand new application from the beginning, right? So let's do that. So the create new application link is on the upper right corner of the 2024 new MCP application list. This will forward us to a blank step 1 screen where we will begin the process of entering the required information into the system. So let's click the create new application. And as stated, we're into step 1, general information, where we're going to begin the process of creating this project. Okay, so bear with me here as I start to input some of this information. All right, so our project name will be Demo Northwest 209th Avenue. In terms of our improvement types, we have a listing of improvement types that we can choose from. We're going to select ADA combinations, bicycle lanes, we'll expand or widen existing roadway or bridge, fiber optics, landscaping, signage, and traffic calming. All right, so when we selected traffic calming, notice that our list expanded so that we have traffic calming measures that are specific to our project. So in this case, we want to select the raised crosswalks. So we will select as our traffic calming measure, it will be the raised crosswalk option. Now, when you're going through this portion of developing what are the contents of your project, we recommend that you review Section 3 of the Second Amendment for eligibility and requirements and funding restrictions. And if you have any questions on the eligibility of a project for the program, you can contact the Broward County's Transportation Surtax General Counsel, and they'll be able to provide some guidance to you. All right, so continuing on with the data entry, we'll provide a brief description of the project. And so I will bring that in. Does the project have defined start and end points? The answer is yes, that it does. It begins, the facility name is Northwest 209th Avenue. It's to Johnson Street and Pines Boulevard. Does the project connect or fill portions of an existing facility? No, it does not, in this case. Is the project in a school zone? Yes, it is. Right, and we're also asking for an image file containing a map of the proposed project area. So if we, again, click our browse button, we can come up to our listing of uploads, and we have a map that is an image file that we want to upload for this. So we have a PNG file for this. All right, so select the phases. Requesting surtax funding. In this case, we are requesting design phase. And everything is in order, so we can request our review. Again, we will agree and submit. Everything is in order. We've checked this, and we believe that it's an accurate submission. So we'll click agree and submit. Okay, great. So now we're forwarded to our list of projects. Our new MCP application has been submitted for general information review. We now have our Northwest 209th Avenue project that is grayed out. So that is where the review is in process. So we cannot edit that at the moment. We have to wait for the MCP team to review. So I will go and do that on my end. Okay, review is complete. And so let's refresh the page. Great, so now we're on to step 2, input, commitment, and support information. Great, so let's do that. So our first question is the project located within the right-of-way that is owned or controlled by the municipality? In this case, the answer is yes. Is the project endorsed by the public through outreach efforts? In this case, again, it's yes. So we're asking for an upload of supporting materials to show endorsement of the project by the public, which we do have. And our project endorsement by the public is here. And then our project commitment section, we have has the governing body approved a resolution of support for the project? And the answer is yes, and we will upload our resolution of support document. Once we are ready, we will request a review for this review step. And again, we will agree and submit and be forwarded back to our list of projects where our step 2 is now grayed out. And we'll wait for the MCP review team to perform their review, which I'll do right now. Okay, great. We're on to step 3. So again, we're just going to edit our design phase, fill in the information, and we're going to start from here. So our cost for the project is $8,662,171, and that is the same amount that we will request. We also upload an independent cost estimate. Let's go to our cost estimate for this. So cost estimate is here. Will non-surtax funds be used to complete the project? The answer is no. In our implementation plan, we will upload a scope of work, so we can browse for that scope of work, select it, and it references it. Provide the number of months needed to complete the project. In this case, it is 24 months. And it will begin in 2024. All right, so our next question is, will a consultant be used to complete the project phase? In this case, the answer is no. We'll upload our in-house staff allocation plan and our staff qualifications. Great. So that is all of the information we'll need for step 3. We can request the review, agree and submit. And again, we're into a pending state for the design phase in review mode by the MCP liaison team. So we'll return to our project list and we'll go over and perform the review. Okay. All right, great. So we are now ready to submit. Everything is completed and reviewed, and we're ready to submit the project. Okay, so let's go ahead and submit this. And we will select our design phase. We'll confirm that we are authorized to make this submission. Click the agree and submit. And great. So this one was submitted. And we have a couple of updates on the page to show you. One is that our Northwest 12th Street, the submit button is now red. And it says the MCP application submit is unavailable. The maximum number of municipal project submission has been reached for the current cycle, meaning that we've reached our count of 3 total that we can submit, and no longer can we submit this, right? So, so this is it for the cycle. Okay, all right, so that is it for developing the project. So there's a few other settings that we'll just take a look at very quickly. One is the priority project. And so once all the project submissions are complete, if the municipality submits more than one project, the second amendment allows for the municipality to designate a priority project, which will receive additional points during the evaluation and ranking process. We will use priority project tab on the dashboard to designate the priority project. So here is our priority project tab, and we can use this to set the priority project. So we'll click this button and then select our North Nob Hill Road as our priority project that we want to submit in our list, right? So set priority project, now demo North Nob Hill is listed as this project, right? Great. All right, the other setting in the dashboard is land use. So the MCP portal provides the ability to notify the team, the MCP team, if the municipality's commission has adopted the Broward County Land Use Policy 2.16.4. If the policy has been adopted, the municipality must upload the adoption document. In this case, the municipality has adopted and implemented the policy, so we can upload the document. So we will select yes here and then browse for our document. Our land use policy adoption and upload it. Great. So now we have successfully uploaded the document. It's a little bit different from all of our other uploads in that we had that button that appears once we select a document, and we have to click that button in order for it to be uploaded. It's not enough just to select the file, you have to click the button. Okay. And then finally, we have in the portal what we call amendments, right? So after the open period closes, some of these inputs are editable after the fact, right? So you can update a land use policy adoption document after the fact. You can set a priority project kind of after the fact. There's a period that's available to you after the open period where you can set the priority project. And then you also have the ability to upload your resolution of support from your governing body as well. So after the open period, you will be notified if you need to do those items, and they will appear in the dashboard as red, right? So if you have a red amendment or header in the dashboard after the open period, it means that you have an action that needs to be performed to kind of complete the cycle and update all the documents for your municipality. So that concludes the live demonstration. Todd has been tracking any questions that would have come up. So if there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Yep, and so far, if you want to take it back to the presentation, Rodney, there have been a couple of questions
Mhm.
that have been answered throughout this. The first one was, will a copy of the presentation be available after the meeting? So not only will the presentation be available, but at the same time, a recording of this. So if you want to rewatch it or share it, that will also be available to you as well. So that will be on the my-mcps.org website. Another question that we got was if projects had previously were submitted, gone through the process, do they need to update their resolution of support? Not always. So one of the things that we recommend is that if it's been 5 years since that resolution of support has been adopted, or if roughly a third of your commission has switched over, we just recommend that you do it at that point. Because again, this is kind of later on down the chain. We just want to save you from some other issues. If the county should come back and say, well, this is pretty old or your commission's changed, we want to try to get that as up to date as we can. But if you're within the 5-year mark and you haven't really had much change in your governing body, you're good to go. And then who should the statements that lighting and signage be non-decorative come from? That's from the applicant itself. So essentially what the county is looking for is to make sure that there's an acknowledgement that they're not going to do anything decorative, because that's not eligible for surtax funding. And as Rodney said, the Transportation Surtax General Counsel can help you with that. So you can contact them. So those are the questions that we've gotten so far. So are there any other questions that are burning on your mind before we close out? I'll leave this open for a little bit just so that way if someone's typing their questions, we can go from there. And I will say we are available at any time. So you see our contact information there. So if there are no more questions at this point, but all of a sudden tomorrow you wake up and go, oh, I wish I would have asked that question, we're certainly available to answer that. So you can reach out to us at any time. So Brian, at this point, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. So I'll turn it over to you for closing.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Rodney. I really appreciate the wonderful service that you provide this program. Very professional, and I want to thank everybody for their time coming today, watching how to build this application. If you need anything, like Todd said, give us a call, give us an email, and our goal is always to respond to you within 24 hours. If it's more complicated, we'll acknowledge you and then get back with you as soon as possible. So thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you at the next training, and which is on January 24th at 1:30. And if you need anything, just give us a ring. Have a great day.